Okay, let's continue now with managerial controls. Chapter number 3, protection of information systems. Now, imagine there is a 67-year-old woman. There is a 67-year-old woman. She has just joined the IT company. She is given the job of email filtering. Okay, what is her job description? To do email filtering. Now, when she started working, she was asked a login ID password by the computer, then access token by the computer or the any device which she is using for doing the email filtering. Now she was able to log in using her login ID password, but she couldn't find where to or from where she should write the access token. So she started asking around in the company, from where should I get the access token? One of the people in the organization, they told her that the access token is given under her iCard, okay, under her identity card. Okay. So you can understand there are some things that newcomers in the organization can't understand. So what we will do is we will give a detailed description of what are the activities in the organization, how to do them, how to conduct operations and all. So that even if he is a newcomer, he can understand how operations are conducted in the organization, and it will be beneficial for everyone that everything is standardized and written down in detail. Okay, let's continue. So this is the 67-year-old woman. She has joined the IT company. She is using a laptop for working. Now, what should we ensure in operations management control? Okay. Here we are talking that the operations that we are conducting daily, we are going to monitor them, okay, whether they are being conducted as per specifications or not. Okay, so the three controls are operation controls, scheduling controls, and maintenance controls. Now, what do we write in operation controls? Here we give a description of all the activities, functions which are performed in the organization using machine and humans. So, if you don't understand any activity, or if you are not able to find some information regarding the function, you can refer to the operation controls given in detail in the organization. After this, now this person has started doing email filtering. Now the job in email filtering is the relevant emails. In that we have to mark important emails and then non-important emails or junk mail. If she keeps on focusing on deleting the junk mail, the important files will not reach the respective people in the organization in time. So what we will do is we will tell her that if there are any important mails, forward them first, then keep continue with deleting the junk mail or irrelevant emails. So what we are doing is we are telling her what to do first and what to do later. So that is actually what we are doing is we are doing scheduling of her job. So what we will write in scheduling controls is we will prepare a list of all the activities she has to do in the organization. Then we will write them in a sequence, in a chronological order, what she has to do first and what she has to do later. So that is what we will cover in scheduling controls. After that, now her email is not working. Her email is not working. So what she did is she used her USB drive or a pen drive. She attached that pen drive to the computer in the IT company. Now that pen drive is not an authorized device as per the organization. So in maintenance controls, we will also tell which hardware to be used in the organization, which hardware to be maintained in the organization, and how it should be maintained. So instead of using personal pen drive, what we will do is we will use the pen drive of the organization, because there are controls. We are using controls for authorized purposes only, or to ensure that the access is authorized only. So in maintenance controls, what we will do is we will tell her that please don't use your personal pen drives, use the hardware of the organization, or first take the permission to use that hardware from the authorized people. So if I want to give a summary of what we have to do in operations management controls in relation to computer operations, then we will just give a detailed description of what are the operations that we are going to conduct, which operation to conduct first and which later, and which hardware is relevant and must be used for that operation. Okay, so we will just give a details to give a walkthrough of activities and sequence. Okay, yes, have you understood these 3 points? Operation controls, scheduling controls, and maintenance controls. Yes, if you want me to repeat, tell me, I will just repeat them.
Continue, sir.
So the 3 controls in relation to operation management controls are operation controls, scheduling controls, and maintenance controls. These are related to computer operations. Okay, she is using a computer. In relation to the computer, these are the 3 controls. You can remember them as OSM, awesome. Now she is trying to connect through a network. We will also give her information that what are the hardware, software, data network, communication lines, and component failure, how to use them, and what to do if they are not working. Now we will include in the hardware section what are ports, modems, multiplexers, switches, and concentrators. Now tell me where in chapter number 3 we have seen this earlier, the types of hardware.
Communication control.
Yes, we have seen this in communication controls. This is like a summary of the entire communication controls. Then software. We will also give details about the data compression software and polling software. If you are using a data compression software, the data transmission will be fast because the data to be sent is less. And what is polling software? As the order is placed, we will arrange the orders in a chronological order, and the order which was placed earlier will be executed first. After this, we will also give information that if data is lost due to component failure, how we should deal in that case. After this, network. We will also give information about the network, when to say the network is working properly, and how to monitor the performance, and if the performance is low, what are the additional measures we must take to improve the connection. Then also we will give the information about communications lines, twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, fiber optics, microwave, and satellite. And then component failure, when communication system is disrupted, who is the person I should call, what are the measures I have to take, that all information we will include in this component failure section. So basically you have to just name the items. After that, you have to tell that what are the additional measures we have to take, what is the information that we have to write. That will all be included in the network operations section. If you want, you can remember this as hardware, software, data, network, communication lines, and communicate and component failure. Okay, HSDN, CC. Okay, HSDN, CC. So earlier we saw operations management control in relation to computers. Now these are the controls in relation to network. If you want, you can write here that it is a summary of communication controls. Yes. Now she has started doing data entry. Okay, now we have changed her job description. Her job is now to prepare files. The first step in preparing a file is data preparation and entry. She will use her laptop. Whatever are the input transactions, she will start entering the data into the laptop. Now, what we will do is we will try to provide facilities and environment which promotes speed and accuracy. What does that mean? We will give her a laptop. We will give her softwares, application softwares to use so that she can enter data into the system with speed and accuracy, which means that we will give the capabilities like RAM, then good processor, then mouse, keyboard, and all. Why we are doing this? Because we want the tasks or the operations to be completed early. So that is what we will write in data preparation and entry. After this, documentation and program library. Now, once we have stored the data in the system, how we are supposed to uh, divide it into the sections and store the relevant data. Okay? So that we will determine in documentation and program library. Okay? We will obviously keep a list that what are the sections and in which section what relevant data is stored, and referring to that list we will access that section in the library. Okay? So first we will enter the data, then we will refer to the library. In that library, we will ensure that only authorized people can access the same. The documentation is done in adequate manner, and only updated files are entered into the library. And also we are taking a regular backup for the files in the library. So authorized, documentation, updated, backup. These are the common points for documentation and program library. Then file library. Here we are not talking about the files. Here we are talking about special files such as magnetic tapes, cartridges, and optical discs. How to do management of the same we will see in file library. Now tell me, if I have a record of patient, where will I store it? In documentation and program library or file library? Patient record,
Documentation.
documentation and program library. Now we have done data entry, then we have entered the files into the library, and then we also know now the management of optical discs and cartridges and all. Now we will see how to do production control. Now in production control, we have to analyze what is the input transaction, what is the output transaction, how the data is being transferred or the information is transmitted, and how job scheduling is done as per the transaction. So here only remember for production control, the earlier 3 points, that operation control, scheduling control, and maintenance control, that is the same thing. Then capacity planning and performance monitoring. What is this? We have started 150 branches of our company. Our system is only able to handle 120 branches. So what we will do is we will maintain a control whether the system is able to cope up with so many branches. If it is not be able to cope up with it, the system itself will tell that the volume is more, please add additional storage or additional processor. Okay? So this performance monitoring will be done in capacity planning and performance monitoring. Here what we are doing basically is, in capacity planning, we have made a mistake that instead of installing a server for 150 branches, we have installed a server for only 120 branches. That is why the all the transactions cannot be processed simultaneously. So we will just increase the capacity of the server to 150 branches. Now she is working on her laptop and the laptop has stopped working automatically. Okay, she is trying to reopen the files. She is trying to restart the programs and all, but it is not working. So what she did, she again went to operations control. She saw that if the laptops are not working, we are supposed to call the vendor from which the company has purchased the laptop. So whenever you call the vendor, okay, it is not the vendor who is answering. There is a separate team. We call them as help desk or technical support. If you are using the hardware or a software of a vendor or a supplier or a other company, they have a separate team called technical support team or help desk. So we will, in the same manner, we will make sure that during our operations, if there is any problem, if the machine has shut down or the machine is not working in the specified way, then we will consult this help desk or technical support for assistance. And the last one is management of outsourced operations. Here, some contracts we will just outsource them. For example, payroll audit and all. What we have to do is whether the data is being transferred to them through emails or through any other modes on a daily basis, that these are the expenditures done by the employees, then these are the leaves taken by the employees, so that they can work on it daily. What we have to do is we have to just take a impose controls whether data is being transmitted daily basis or not. So these were the remaining controls in operations management. Here you can remember this by first remember management of outsourced operations, then help desk or technical support, then capacity planning, performance monitoring, and then production control. You can just rearrange the sequence here. For capacity planning and performance monitoring, remember 150 branches example. For production control, remember the earlier three controls: operation control, scheduling control, and maintenance control. For help desk, remember the example I gave for vendor. And for management of outsourced operations, remember the example of payroll audit. Yes, we have completed now operations management control. Okay, why I'm taking this in a reverse sequence is because the flow is better understood in reverse. Okay, so this is a summary of operations controls. Now we will just revise. In relation to computer, there are three controls. We call them awesome: operation control, scheduling control, and maintenance control. Then for network, we have 6 controls: hardware, software, data, network, communication lines, and component failure. Then we have changed the job description. Now she is doing data entry. Then she is doing documentation and storing it in the library. And we are also learning how to do management of cartridges in file library. Then we have outsourced some contracts such as payroll audit. Then we have a help desk to ensure that if there are any problems in the operations, we can assist them, assist the users. Then we will also do production control. That is basically again OSM. Only it is instead of writing computer related, we have just written as production related. And then capacity planning is, remember the 150 branches example. Okay, any questions in operations management control?
No, sir.
Okay. To remember this, try to refer to this 67-year-old woman. You can give her any name you want. You just remember her and you will be able to recall this entire operations management controls. Okay, these are the controls that we have to learn today. In this, see the last one, operations management control. In that, computer operations, network operations, then data preparation and entry, production control. So computer operations and network operations, These are also the main points, and the remaining ones, they are not the subcategories of these controls, they are the main points only. Okay, I am giving this chart so that you might be able to differentiate which are the main points and which are the sub points. Now I will ask a question. Tell me which control I am talking about in operations management control. I am doing operation, scheduling and maintenance, all three at once. Only it is not related.
Production.
Yes, production. Now my laptop is not working.
Help desk.
Help desk. Then I can't find the access token.
Computer operation.
I am not able to connect to the server.
Network operation.
Okay, I have installed a software only for 120 branches.
Capacity planning.
Capacity planning and performance monitoring. And then management of cartridges and optic disk.
File library.
Okay, for file library, you don't have to explain what are optical disks, magnetic tapes and cartridges, but remember these three names. These are the only three things they are talking about in file library. These are actually machine readable storage media. Okay, machine readable storage media. Now I will ask some what are the concepts. You have to just tell me which chapter I'm talking about. The risk management. Yes, which chapter I'm talking about? The risk management.
Chapter 1.
Yes, we are talking about chapter number 1. Now, in chapter number 1, we were talking about only risks related to information systems. Now, there are also other risks for which we have physical access controls, then environmental controls and logical access controls. But they are not covering the general security controls. So to ensure the security of the personnel and the areas which are not covered by those controls, we will have security management controls. Okay? For all the areas that are not covered in risk management or physical access controls, environmental controls and logical access controls. Now what we will do is, here we will aggressively see or identify threats. We will make a list of the assets. What is the hardware, software, personnel, facilities, what is the important documentation, application and system software. And then we will, after making the list of the assets, we will, in front of them, we will write what are the security management controls we have imposed for the same. So that if the other controls fail during the disaster, we will mitigate the losses using the last resort control. In the image, you can see for the personnel, we have hired bodyguards that whenever they are outside or inside the organization, they have adequate protection. Okay. So we are not just talking about the information system assets here, we are also talking about the personnel and other facilities. To ensure security of the same, we are using security management controls. Now, if I am talking about a disaster, which chapter I am referring to?
Third chapter.
Disaster.
4th chapter.
Okay, 4th chapter, business continuity planning and disaster recovery planning. In that also, we were preparing a list of all the threats, then what are the controls, then whether the probability has reduced or not. In the same way, for the other remaining disasters, we will do security management. See, in chapter number 4, we were not looking for any controls. So whatever we are doing in chapter number 4, in relation to these are the controls, security management controls. That is why I finished the entire syllabus first, and then we are seeing these controls. Actually, every chapter has its own controls. So what we will do is we will prepare a list of assets, and we will use these security management controls. Now, what we will do if these security management controls also fail during a disaster? Even these controls have now failed during the disaster. What we will do is we will do DRP and insurance. If we have insurance, we will be able to recover the costs, or we can resume the procedures. Now tell me, what is the difference between resuming and recovering procedures? Okay, fine. We can resume only the procedures which have not been affected by the disaster, and we will only recover those procedures where the operations have been affected by the disaster. Okay, we will resume which is not affected, and we will recover what is affected. So in insurance, we are doing recovery procedures and not resumption procedures. What we will recover here? The assets, valuable papers and records for which we have taken the insurance claim. Now, for the DRP, you have to give a summary of what are the 4 types of plans. Yes, can you tell me the names of the 4 types of plans?
Recovery plan, backup plan,
Emergency.
test
Plan and
Yes. Emergency plan, recovery plan, backup plan, test plan. Okay, these are the 4 types of plans. What you have to do is you have to just give a summary in 1 line. Then what you have to write is use BCP and DRP to minimize the impact of disaster on operations, and the plans must be in line with the policies, procedures, standards, guidelines of the organization. Okay. So what you have to write in security management controls is you will do threat identification, and if the security management controls fail, you will opt for DRP and insurance. What you will do in DRP? Just write a summary of the 4 types of plans. Then after giving the summary, write that we are doing it to minimize the impact of disaster on operations, and that our plans must be in line with the procedures, policies, standards, and guidelines. Okay, so there are only 3 points in security management controls. One is threat identification, then DRP, and then insurance. Okay, it is not as lengthy as operations management control. So this was an easy concept. Now here they have given a list of the threats and what controls we must do. In some of the areas, what they have done is, instead of writing the controls, they have just told how the controls should be, because they have already covered those controls in environmental control or physical access controls or logical access controls. So this is like a summary. For fire, they are saying that it should be reliable and well designed. What should be reliable and well designed? The controls for mitigation of losses due to fire. Then water, we should be able to mitigate losses. Then energy, here you have to write controls from environmental controls. Okay, for some you have to mention all the controls we have learned earlier, and for some you have to just tell what is the requirements from such controls. Then for structural damage, we will do BCP, DRP, and insurance. Then pollution, we will do regular cleaning. For unauthorized access, we will use physical access controls, logical access controls. Viruses, we will use antivirus softwares. We will not use virus affected programs, and we will close the security loopholes. Then misuse of software, data, and services. We will give a code of conduct to the employees that what is acceptable usage, what is unacceptable usage. And then For hackers, we will hire a hacking agency, or we will use logical access controls and data integrity controls. So this is very random question. There is no flow here. They have just made a list of threads and they have given controls. In some of the areas, they have not even mentioned the controls. What you can do is you can link this question to environmental controls, logical access controls, physical access controls, and data integrity controls so that you can understand it better. Try to read this question in the end so that it will be a bit easy. So here you can see in security management controls, remember only 3 points: threat identification, DRP, and insurance while revising. Okay, now we are getting feedback from the customers that the product or the service that you are giving, it is of the best quality. There is no other product in the market of the required quality, and or other products in the market are not that easy to use. Okay, so that is some positive feedback. Now from the other parts of the same country, you are getting feedback that you are giving a useless product, useless service, we are not able to understand how to use it and all. So that is some negative feedback. And from some part of the country, we are getting mixed feedbacks. So what we have to do is we will analyze this feedback, the positive feedback, negative feedback, and the mixed feedback, to understand what are the qualities customers can identify, and what are the problems in the product, so that we can deliver a more quality product in the future. Now why we are doing this, why we are analyzing all this, so that we can develop a more quality product. So to ensure that we give a more quality product, what we will do is we will do quality assurance management controls. Okay, now just a question outside the syllabus of ISCA. What is the technique in costing you will use to ensure that you are giving a more quality product? What are the developments in costing by which you can give a more quality product? Okay.
Benchmark.
Okay, it is total quality management. Okay, in the name itself, they have given quality. Though the meaning is not that you should give a more quality product, but whatever we are doing in total quality management, that is exactly what we are doing in quality assurance management controls. Okay, all the quality cost, then preventive controls and all, we are doing that in quality assurance management controls. Why we are doing this? So that we can achieve the quality goals and comply with the quality standards of the organization and the industry. Why we are doing this? You can write the reasons on your own, that it is the user's demand. Then we want to avoid the defective product liabilities. You know that if you deliver a defective product, there can be legal repercussions. Then a project might be abandoned if there are very negative feedbacks. Then the organization, if they don't have controls to ensure that we are delivering more quality products, then the deadlines might be missed. There will be lower morale and lower productivity. If you keep obsessively focusing on customer and ensuring quality, the employees will have more morale, they will work better, there will be more productivity, and there will be no case of missed deadlines. Okay, this is something that Jeff Bezos said when he was talking about Amazon, that you should obsessively focus on the customer and try to give him the product with the low cost and maximum benefits. Okay, you can remember Jeff Bezos if you want to remember quality assurance management controls. So here you don't have to remember any specific points, just remember what are the reasons we are doing this and what is the objective. The objective is to achieve quality goals and comply with quality standards. That is it. Okay. Even if you don't remember the reasons, you can write them on your own in the exam. Okay, just try to visualize a product. So quality assurance management controls. Okay, we will continue in 2 minutes. Okay, take a break.